Dakota, hello. Has it been 3 years already? Wow, time really does fly when you're having a good time. You went and blocked me after the last time we chatted, so I went and got myself a brand new phone number to text you with. What, Gracie? Huh? Why are you reacting to me texting you after such a long time like that? You think you, of all people, have the right to be asking me what my reaction was just then, after everything you did? What are you talking about? I'm talking about how you stole my husband from me and made us get a divorce. Oh, that did happen, didn't it? At the time, you were married to Jeff, right? Well, after I went and stole him from you, things became a little bit distant between him and I, so I threw him aside. So we no longer need to talk about that. From now on, I'd like to start my new relationship with a new man. And you need to do the same thing for yourself here soon, Dakota. Right? Honestly, I don't really care what happened between you and Jeff anymore. And right now, the fact that you are texting me again after that event is frickin' vexing. What? Don't you start calling me annoying. Then don't even text me again, please. Goodbye. Wait! I have to tell you about who I'm going out with right now, and that's why I started to text you again. What do you think you're doing, leaving me before I even tell you what I have to say? I don't give a crap about whoever you're with now. Well, what if I told you I'm going out with your current husband now? What was that? My current husband, you say? Look at that, now you seem to care. I knew you'd never be able to ignore me after saying that. No. Actually, after saying that, you've only gone and started to annoy me some more. Actually, it's been about 6 months now since I went and stole him from you. Your current husband is way more exciting than your first. He is far superior to that Jeff guy, and the way he acts around me is so gentlemanlike. We're just meant for one another. What? I'm single right now, though. Huh? Like I said, I'm single. No boyfriend, no fiance, no husband. I'm not even having any fun with men right now. Ever since the divorce with Jeff happened, I haven't dated any men at all. There hasn't been anyone I've come to like that way. For the past 3 years, I've been completely free and have my own will again. Yet now you're back talking about how you're with my husband? Who are you even talking about right now? Oh, I see. I get it now. This is all too heartbreaking for you, isn't it? Just because you're feeling your gut tighten up with anxiety, it doesn't mean you can start to lie to me. Right now, I'm in a hotel with your husband, and we are getting it on. I know for a fact that you're lying, and it was all too easy for me to guess that. Hey, Gracie, I'm not joking around. I've seriously not gotten remarried since then. Then tell me, who is this man that I've been having so much fun with and letting do me raw all the time when we come out on these little nightly vacancies? You haven't given me a name or sent me a picture of him, so I have no clue who he is. Oh my god, so this is really devastating for you then, isn't it? And could it also be that since this is your second time losing a husband to me, your brain has become completely fried from the shock? Well, you need to get your memory back somehow, all right? Because it's no fun watching you just sit there saying you have no memory of who your husband is. The whole point of me stealing him from you is to watch you get all upset with me again and talk about wanting to off yourself and such. I think you are mentally screwed, Gracie. But it's just so much fun for me. Especially when watching an old friend like you have a mental breakdown. I'm sure you were aware back in high school and college how I'd go and steal the men you loved, right? Seriously, the fact that you are so mentally screwed is making me want to call the police. I might honestly do that. This whole thing about you saying that man is my husband and all now, and talking about how you're now having sex with him all the time, I think you need some real dang help. Huh? So you're still going to lie to me? I'm just telling you the truth, Gracie. I think you need to find out again who that man you're with is and whose husband he is, because I know 100% that he's not mine. He most likely has nothing to do with me in the first place. I told you already, he is your husband. That's what he keeps telling me. There's no way that I'm making a mistake here. Well, I have no idea who he could be then. And from what I can tell, this conversation is meaningless because you keep forcing it to go on a loop. Bye. Huh? What the heck? I'm going to bust that lying thick skull of yours right open. I'll show you.
Dakota, this is Jeff. Long time no see. I'm only texting you because I have something I'd like to ask. Is that alright?
What? The only reason I haven't already blocked you yet is because you're still working on paying off the settlement I'd asked for 3 years ago. You understand that very clearly, right?
I know. Look, I totally agree that I'm not in the position to be texting you like this. But for my own sake, I have something I wanted to check with you about.
Well then, make it fast.
Thank you. Did you get remarried? No, I totally understand that you don't want someone like me asking you a personal question like that, but this is about Gracie.
Gracie?
Well, I'm not sure why she was doing this in the first place, and if she meant it as a form of messing around with me, but yesterday she had messaged me. She was going on about how she had stolen her husband from you again, and this new man is far better than me. Well, I kind of understood what was wrong with that woman back when she ran away from me, and since then I haven't really had any desire to want to talk with her again.
So Gracie is still going on about how she's stolen my supposed husband?
What?
About 3 months ago or so, she was telling me the exact same thing, about how she had stolen my husband. None of it made any sense at all to me, so I just stopped texting her and left it. Were you able to hear from her at all who the man is that she's with and calling my husband?
Yeah. He was working at the same company as me before, and his name is Titus. Though he was never that great of a worker in the company, so I don't ever remember much about him besides his face.
I see. I have no memory of a Titus.
Oh, so this means you haven't gotten remarried yet?
That's right. There is no husband.
And how about thoughts about you and I getting back together?
Shut the hell up, Jeff.
What I thought. Sorry for asking. I won't say anything else.
However, thank you for letting me know about this. I happen to have a friend still working at the company you were at before, so when I have some time, I'll ask them to look into this Titus guy for me.
Well, if there's anything you need help with, let me know. Of course, after what happened 3 years ago, I'm sure you don't want me around.
That's right. But if you hear anything from Gracie, let me know about it.
Sounds good.
Dakota, I've really gone and done it this time. And this time, you can no longer even try getting away with lying about not having a husband right now. That's because your husband got me pregnant. Well, actually, I already knew I was pregnant a little while back. It's been around 6 months now since I first found out, but I wanted to wait until my belly started to get a bit bigger before telling you. At this point, I have no choice but to have the baby for him, and that will force you to have to divorce him, right? Oh my god, life is always filled with the unexpected. At first, I was just planning on taking your husband from you for however long things could last before I got bored, and then toss him aside as well. But this guy is the most amazing man I have ever been with. He has the best features, and his face is perfect for me. And above all that, me getting married to the man I stole from you would be a good send-off before your trip into a deep depression, right? When he told me that he wanted to marry me so much that he'd make me pregnant with his kid, I was over the moon with joy. From that moment on, he and I have felt even more close to one another. And after a few weeks at a hotel nearby, I became pregnant. Hey, how about you respond to me now? I get that this is all terribly heartbreaking for you, but there's no point in you lying to me anymore about being single. All right? Hurry up and get that divorce for me now. Hey, Dakota, I've seen that you read my text from yesterday. But the fact that you still haven't replied to me tells me there is something wrong with your head. I'm about to have a baby here soon, and you are holding up the process for my man and I. You have to divorce him now. Hi, Gracie. What perfect timing. I was just thinking about getting back to you. Well, so you're finally going to agree to divorce your husband for me? No, because like I've said plenty of times now, I'm single. Huh? You are still trying to fight me on this? Just stop talking for a second, all right? I have something I need to check with you about now, Gracie, and it is very, very important. What? Gracie, have you ever been stalked by someone before? What? Stalked by someone? I'm talking about the time between you leaving Jeff and now. Yes. There have been a few times now, actually. But after I went and gave him a little action, he left me alone for good. What? You and that stalker? I've done things like that before in the past to get men to leave me alone, so I did the same thing with him, and after he was happy, he left me alone. That's right. This last time, he was a total turnoff. His looks were awful, and that face was like that of an alien. Yet he still thought he could get with me. Well, I knew that as long as I pleased him that one time, he'd leave me alone forever. So I slept with him for 2 hours that day. But I do have to say, that did leave me with a little bit of trauma. I told myself that once I had finished up with that stalker, I would never ever do anything with an ugly man again. Did you get the name of that stalker or any other identification? We were only together one time, so I had no reason to ask for his name. Then, what would happen if that man you called ugly back then went and got plastic surgery and then showed back up in your face again? What? Plastic surgery? And what if he told you he wanted to have a serious relationship now? Wanted to marry you and everything? What? I would never bother with him. Naturally, he's ugly, so no matter what he does to change his appearance, I would never want to have a relationship. By the way, why are we talking about this right now? I see. So you still don't get it then, do you? That's why I'm wondering what's going on here. That whole story with that stalker is over now, and I fixed the problem I had. No, you didn't. You might think you fixed that problem. But while you've been completely oblivious to it, that man has been moving along with a very dark plan that he made up. What are you talking about? What dark plan? That stalker of yours that I just mentioned, the one that got plastic surgery and everything? Well, he got you to think that he was married to me, and his name is Titus. Huh? You know how Jeff and Titus used to work together back at Jeff's old company? Well, I happen to have a friend still working at that company, and so they went and talked with Titus about a few things while out drinking. The reason he first started to stalk you was because back in the day you were waiting for Jeff outside the office, and Titus saw you and immediately fell in love. What? After that, he learned about how you and Jeff broke up, and that's what turned him into your stalker. And after some time, you went and had that 2-hour pleasure time with him, and that only strengthened his desire for you further. So in order to become the man you dreamed of having, he went online and started searching for all the men you follow on social media, as well as learned about how you had always been stealing my significant others away from me. He changed his face to match the faces of those men you liked so much, and changed his backstory to sound like he had become my next husband. This then led to you falling for him immediately, and he then was able to get you pregnant with his kid. And now, here we are. What? What if I told you that everything you've been a part of with that man has all been part of your stalker's plan? What? In order to go through all that plastic surgery, Titus used up all of his savings. And then in order to take you out to those hotels all the time, he started to borrow money. So he's in debt? And don't forget that he went and changed his whole appearance for you, so everyone at the office talks about what happened to him all the time. He went and got rid of his former self, all in order to force his way into your life. You should be more accepting of his strong desire to be with you over any other woman on this planet. No! No! How could I ever marry an ugly man like that? How could I ever be able to give birth to that ugly man's child? No! This is what you wanted. I didn't know all of that happened, though. Help me, Dakota. Why should I? Because he's your husband. That's right. He is my husband, isn't he? Just like how the sun is the color pink. And how rocks are mammals. Let me come hide at your place. I'm coming to your house right now. If you're talking about my parents' house, that place is no longer standing. It was demolished years ago, and there's a new house there. Huh? It's not there anymore? My older brother and his wife took that land and built their new house on it, so I moved out of town and am living somewhere completely different. So don't even bother with me, Gracie. What? And if you'd like to know, your parents' house is also gone now. Huh? Because of what you did 3 years ago, your parents both disowned you, right? They couldn't risk you trying to come back to them after that, and so they both decided to sell their house and move away from here for good. I'm not sure where they moved to, though. I'm sure you could go out and try looking for them, but that would be a hard thing to do when you're going to have a baby soon and a husband. No way! Then, what am I supposed to do? There's only one thing left you can do. What is that? Marry Titus and become his childbearing wife, right? What? Your last name would be Dingerfell, right? Gracie Dingerfell. That sounds pretty great to me. No! Help me, Dakota! There's nothing I can do for you. Nothing I'd want to do for you, to be honest. No! Goodbye forever, Gracie. I know that I told her I couldn't do anything for her, but I had actually gotten Gracie's mother's phone number a while back. And she had just texted me asking how Gracie was doing since we started talking again, and I told her daughter was just fine. In the end, Gracie got married to Titus, although they didn't have a wedding for their marriage or anything like that, because Titus didn't have any money left and Gracie was going into labor. And so right after their visit to the courthouse to get married, she gave birth to their baby. Gracie was not a fan of her baby because the moment it came out of her, she could see that it resembled the natural version of Titus, which she called ugly. But there was nothing she could do about her baby at that point, so she just began bawling her eyes out over her new life, which had just begun. And because Gracie no longer had a single person to rely on for help, she was forced to work with Titus's family, who were all monsters of their own. Apparently his mother was also looking forward to having a daughter-in-law, all with the hopes of making them her slave. And so, after having her baby, Gracie was subjected to a lot of terrible moments with her mother-in-law, which started with her having to move in with Titus's parents because, once again, they didn't have any money to go anywhere otherwise. Titus's mother also blamed Gracie for him getting into debt and forced her to start working in order to pay his debt off for him. And not too long after all that started, Titus's mother told them she didn't want a grandchild anymore, and so she had Gracie's parents come and take that baby away. And, well, Titus was totally okay with her decision to do that with his baby, and even told Gracie that it was the right decision, because he couldn't handle all the baby's crying. By this point, though, Gracie was already pretty much dead inside, so losing her own baby to her parents, who both cut ties to her, didn't even faze her. Well, that's at least what everyone thinks when looking into her now soulless eyes. Anyway, that baby hasn't done anything wrong to deserve to grow up in a terrible household such as that, so I'm completely fine with the outcome there. And that means I can finally relax and forget about Gracie for good.
Hey there, Cynthia. It's so great to finally get to talk to my big sister-in-law. I'm your brother Carl's wife, Shauna.
What? My brother's wife? Oh, now that you mention it, I think one of my old high school friends mentioned to me a while back that he got married. It's nice to meet you, Shauna.
Same to you, Cynthia.
If you don't mind me asking, how did you get my number? I bet you've probably heard this from my brother, but he's not my biological brother. He's actually my second cousin or something. We're related, but only barely. They just took me in after my parents died when I was young. I call them my parents and brother because, well, they're the only family I know. We never really got along well, though. I have all their phone numbers just in case I need to contact them, but the moment I turned 18 and started a life on my own, they all blocked my number.
Oh, wow. Really? Wow, I had no idea. So anyway, there's something I need you to help me out with.
What is it?
Okay, so a little while ago, I got a job at a company that's pretty close to where you live in your city. I work from 9 to 5, and I need someone to look after my kid when I'm at work, and that's where you come in.
What?
I heard that you're single and have a job where you work from home, right? That means you have way more free time on your hands than someone who actually goes into work like me, right? So I thought it wouldn't be too much trouble for you.
Shauna, hold up just 1 second.
Oh, don't worry, I already got your address. It shouldn't be too difficult to find.
Shauna,
I've never taken care of a kid in my entire life. I can't watch yours for you. Oh, really? In that case, this will be the perfect opportunity for you to accustom yourself to taking care of children. Isn't that great? It's a win-win situation. Shauna, listen to me. No, I cannot look after your kid. I am way too busy. Oh, come on. What else are you going to do with your time? You're single and work at home. My relationship and work status are totally irrelevant. So anyway, I just left her in the doorway to your apartment 2 minutes ago. Thanks a bunch. I'll see you later tonight. You what? Shauna, you actually abandoned your kid in front of my apartment door? What on earth were you thinking? I already told you what I was thinking. I'm working, you're free. So I'm leaving my kid with you to take care of while I'm at work. It's that simple. How old is this kid anyway? Like 4 or 5 months? I may not be a childcare expert, but this kid looks like she's practically a newborn. I think she's like about 2 months, give or take. 2 months? No. This is not happening. I can't take care of a baby that young. Sorry, Cynthia, but I just clocked into work. No turning back now. You have got some nerve, Shauna. I'll see you in 8 hours. Have fun! Shauna, get back here! Shauna, this has to stop. You left your baby on my doorstep again? Yep, thanks for always taking such good care of her. I really appreciate it. Shauna, listen to me. This stops today. You've been doing this to me for a full week now. This baby is only 2 months old. She needs her mother with her, and I am not her mother. How could you just leave such a vulnerable baby with me? Are you out of your mind? And like I told you, I have my own work to be doing. I'm in the middle of a big project that's due in a short time. I'm up to my eyeballs in work and I have 0 time to spend caring for your baby. Please, Shauna, I know you're in a tough position, but so am I. You need to find someone else, okay? Listen, Cynthia, you're not fooling anyone. I know you work at home, and I know what that means. It means you can't possibly have any really important work to do, unlike me, get it? It's in society's best interest that you help me out here. I'm sure you'd like to be spending more time playing video games or whatever it is you do while pretending to work, but wouldn't you like to do something to benefit society for once in your life? Honestly, you should be thanking me for giving you the opportunity to do something that's actually meaningful with your life. What are you talking about? I don't spend all day playing computer games. I am working. Just because I'm not going into an office to do my job doesn't mean I don't have duties, deadlines, bosses, clients, everything. I'm being serious right now. I cannot do this anymore. I'm having to spend all morning and afternoon looking after your baby, so I have to put off all my work until night. I barely slept at all this week. I am absolutely losing my mind over here, and my deadline is getting closer every day. And now you know what working mothers have to deal with every day. This is going to be super valuable opportunity for you. I know it. Stop trying to dodge the issue. That's not what this is about. Kate, just got to my office. Gotta go, Cynthia. See you later. Thanks again for taking such good care of my little angel. Shauna, please, I can't take this anymore.
Hey, Cynthia. It's been way too long since we've talked. It's me, Carl.
What?
Your little brother, Carl, remember?
Oh, I was pretty sure you all had blocked me.
I'm sorry to message you so suddenly like this. I just unblocked you a little bit ago.
What could you possibly want now?
Cynthia, I wanted to tell you that I'm sincerely sorry for everything that happened.
Well, it's appreciated, but what's brought this on?
I only blocked you because Mom and Dad made me. I had no choice but to do as they said. I didn't want to block you. You're my sister. I love you. I wanted to keep a normal sibling relationship.
Carl, what's going on?
I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't know about any of this, but being an only child, I was really happy to have a big sister. If it were my choice, I would have kept things going just like they were, but like I said, Mom and Dad made me block you, and they checked my phone every day to make sure I wasn't contacting you without them knowing.
Wow, that must have been hard for you. But I guess I can understand why things would happen that way. My parents never got along with your mom and dad back before they died. I couldn't even remember the last time I had seen you guys when the day came that you had to take me into your home.
Yeah, my parents told me I wasn't allowed to play with you or even be nice to you. And I know it's way too late, but I really wanted to tell you how sorry I am. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart.
Thanks for telling me how you feel, Carl. I forgive you. It wasn't your fault.
Thanks, Cynthia. So, the reason I wanted to talk to you today is that my parents are getting divorced.
Divorced?
My wife Shauna and I had been living together with my parents in their house, but their divorce has been so chaotic that we decided to take the opportunity to get the hell out of there, and we moved over to your city.
Oh. Huh.
If it's okay with you, I'd like to try and put our relationship back together. We could invite Shauna along and go out for dinner, go on trips, make it feel like we're brother and sister again.
Wow. Well, I really appreciate that you feel that way. But if we're going to start fresh, there's one matter that needs to be taken care of before anything else.
What is it? I'll do anything. You name it.
It's about your kid.
Oh, wait. My kid? What about my kid?
Shauna's been dropping your kid off at my house every single day for the last week and making me babysit for her while she's at work. I need you to talk to her and make her knock that off.
What?
Yeah, like I said, it's been going on for an entire week now. And the baby's only 2 months old. I know she's my niece and all, but I have to put my foot down here. I have work to do. I can't watch your daughter during the day. And the only reason I haven't either gone insane or collapsed from exhaustion until now is because my landlord is the kindest woman I've ever met who agreed to help me out when she can. If not for her, I don't even want to think about what sort of state I'd be in. I tried to talk to Shauna about this, but she just doesn't listen to a word I say.
Wait a minute. Niece? Daughter? What are you talking about?
Huh? What do you mean, what am I talking about? She's your daughter, I'm your sister, that makes her my niece.
Cynthia, our child is a boy, so he's my son and your nephew.
What?
And he's not 2 months old, he's 4 months old.
This isn't making any sense. So, wait, if your kid is a boy, then who is this girl I've been babysitting for this week?
Is the baby at your place right now?
Yeah. She's taking a nap in the other room right now.
I'd like to take a look for myself, so is it okay if Shauna and I come over there together?
What the? Is Shauna with you right now?
Well, yeah, she's been here with me all day.
She's not at work?
Nah, she's off on maternity leave. I took paid leave from work so I could get us completely moved out of my folks' house as soon as possible.
Then we've got a bit of a problem. Shauna's been telling me the reason she needs me to look after the baby is because she's working 9 to 5.
Okay, so either my wife has learned how to teleport, or we've got an imposter on our hands. This is looking to be a pretty interesting day.
Interesting? I'm terrified.
Okay, don't worry. We'll head over there right now.
Do you know my address?
Yeah, you've sent us a Christmas card every year, haven't you? Well, last year I managed to get the mailbox before my parents did, found your card, and copied down your address.
Wow, that's resourceful of you.
Right? So, yeah, we'll be over there soon.
Okay, I'll be waiting. Hey, what did you do? I was just about to drop my kid off at your place when I got caught by my parents and husband. Good morning. I gotta hand it to you. You totally had me convinced you were Shauna. Uh-oh. But you're not, Shauna, and I'm not your sister-in-law, right? You're Shauna's older sister, Jenna. You figured that out? Yep. How? Your family all blocked you, right? There was no way for them to contact you. I thought you'd never find out. As a matter of fact, my brother Carl messaged me just yesterday asking to rebuild our relationship. Seriously? And I also had the pleasure of meeting the real Shauna as well. Oh, come on! Yesterday evening, I gave your daughter back to you like normal, but that was only so we could confirm your identity. Carl and the real Shauna were watching you on my front door security camera, and they got a very good look at your face. Shauna knew right away it was you, her older sister Jenna. And once she confirmed your identity, she immediately jumped into action. She called your parents and your husband and told them what had been going on with you for the last week. And that's how things wound up like they did this morning, from what Shauna said. It seemed like you had visited her at their house sometime after Christmas. I suppose you must have seen my Christmas card and copied down my address just like Carl did, but how did you get my phone number? Did you actually steal it off of one of their phones? No. Look, Jenna, there's really no use in hiding anymore. I know you're not Shauna. I know why you've been shoving your kid onto me. I know everything. Fine. I heard about how you had a bad relationship with his parents at their wedding, so I figured I might be able to use the situation to my advantage. But my God, that moron Carl had to go and pick the worst possible timing to contact you, after I worked so hard to keep up the ruse. Okay, seriously now, did you actually think that you'd be able to get away with this stunt of yours forever? You would have gotten found out eventually, one way or another. In any case, I think you'd better go and have a talk with your husband and parents. Oh, and one more thing, I am never taking care of your kid for you again. What's your problem? It's not like you've got anything better to do. You're such a pampered, spoiled brat. Working from home? Yeah, right. You're just sitting around watching TV and eating snacks all day, aren't you? There's no reason you can't watch my kid for a few hours. You lazy jerk. Hey, what gives? Why are you in your apartment anymore? I tried ringing your doorbell, but then some old lady came out saying she was the landlord and that she'd call the police if I didn't leave. You moved? Why? What do you want? My husband divorced me, and it gets worse. I lost custody of my daughter. Ah, so it would seem that he also found out that you'd been cheating on him then? You said you were leaving your kid with me because you had to go to work. But you were actually just going to see your boyfriend, weren't you? How did you... And then you tried to claim that the girl's father was actually your boyfriend's, not your husband's, but he had a paternity test done. And lo and behold, she is, in fact, your husband's daughter. Oh, excuse me, ex-husband's daughter. And because of this, your boyfriend broke up with you too. Do I have all that right? How did you know all of that? Well, after all that misery you caused me, I was very eager to hear every single minute detail from Carl and Shauna about how quickly your life had spiraled downhill since then. You're a real sociopath, you know that? How can you be enjoying the pain and suffering you caused me? You're gonna have to take responsibility for all this. Excuse me? It's your fault that I got divorced, your fault that I lost custody of my daughter, and your fault that I got thrown out of my parents' house. This is all your responsibility, so you're gonna pay for it. Tell me where you moved. I'm gonna crash with you for a while until I get things figured out. No. Why not? I am not gonna let you in my house just so you can steal anything that is valued upon for cash. Damn it. I presume your husband is suing you for your affair and child support, right? Your parents referred you to that one company, didn't they? If I were you, I wouldn't balk at the chance to have your rent covered while also being able to make some money to start chipping away at your debts. But that place is really, really, really strict. I don't want to work there. Okay, well, if you're not willing to take the job that's been offered to you, then I don't see why I should have to take care of you. You won't even take care of yourself. You're an awful person, a real black-hearted scumbag. You impersonated your sister and forced a total stranger to look after your child so you could go and cheat on your husband. I don't think you're in any sort of position to call someone a black-hearted scumbag. What was I supposed to do? I can't take my kid over to see my boyfriend. She would have totally killed the mood. I see now that this conversation isn't going to go anywhere. If losing your husband, daughter, and parents isn't enough to slap some sense into you, nothing I could say would either. Goodbye. Hey, don't be that way. Come on, Cynthia. You gotta do something. Help me. When Jenna texted me, it seems that she was in the middle of trying to run away from some friends of her parents. I told Carl and Shauna that Jenna had been looking for me at my old apartment, and they were kind enough to relay that information on to the friends who were looking for her. Just about 30 minutes later, I got another message from Carl that simply said, "They got her." I only found out what happened to her after that when I was finally able to meet up with Carl under normal circumstances and have a normal conversation. Jenna's parents have certain connections, including a company that operates a remotely located factory specializing in monitoring its employees' lives. She'll be working there until she's paid off every last cent of her colossal debts. As for Jenna, I left her number unblocked because I was mildly entertained by the desperate pleas for help she would send me. But eventually, those pleas turned into her just hurling foul language at me, so I decided my fun was over and told Carl about it. He messaged me a little while later saying, "It's been taken care of." And just like that, the messages from Jenna completely stopped. Now that the whole ordeal with Jenna is over, I can finally get back to work on finishing my project in peace and quiet.